Massive drama unfolding as Eli Tomac is now considering going to Kawi instead of KTM. Hey everybody, Walty Wanders, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Let's jump back on the moto merry-go-round and examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine and Jorge Prado.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look. Between the industry cracks, we've got some cracks to look through today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Eli Tomac, beast mode. Welcome to the swimming pool. We got a good one to break down today. I hope you guys brought your open face and a fresh pair of tear-offs because the roast is about to fly. We're going to jump over to the community page of the Walty Wanders YouTube channel, take a look at some polling, take a lap around some of your comments. Always a fun one. Thanks to everybody who participates in that. Like I said, if you're new, not yesterday, not tomorrow, today, you get subscribed and jump over there. Just make sure you bring some tear-offs because it gets gnarly in there. The bench racing is the best on YouTube. Craziness, right? But it's come to light and it's starting to make sense to me. I started to hear whispers. I mean, we've heard it for a while. I think a while back we kind of heard it and dismissed it because we thought the deal was all but done. And maybe it is. By the time this video posts, it could actually be an official presser. I don't know. But what I do know is this is actually looking kind of real now. Is Tomac could in fact head back to Kawi. And I guess initially when he left Kawi, it was really because they weren't giving him a whole lot of freedom to explore different things with the bike. They kind of kept him in a box. Now, Kawi, you've been beaten into submission. Now it's like you're begging Tomac to come back. Do whatever.
You can put a turbocharger on this thing, beast mode. Just please come back.
Because Jorge Prado, the George just hung you guys out to dry like a cheap suit, man. I mean, my gosh, that was the biggest, ugliest, worst hiring probably in moto history. It wasn't even an American with some euro. You lined some euros pockets with a bunch of money. Are you kidding me, Kawi? What are you doing? Now, I could see maybe if it was like, I don't know, somebody else lining their pockets, and maybe he's been here for a while and won a championship already. That guy came from MXGPs. I don't know any of that translates. We got a lot of this talk from us. These GP guys are stepping it up, and the Euros are stepping it up. And a lot of these guys look fast. But how many times have they come over and fell flat on American soil? It's a different, they're a deer in the headlights once they get over here. Now, George looked pretty happy. But I don't think it was necessarily because he was an American and he was about to ride the Kawasaki. It was because he got paid. That dude was stoked. He got paid. Now, it's come to light that potentially Red Bull bought him out of his Kawi contract because the Kawi contract was primarily paid by Monster. Now, that enters in Eli. Eli's currently a Monster Energy rider, and Monster Energy clearly has deep pockets as they are the series' sponsor. They're a monster. They're a monster for all intents and purposes, right? I mean, they've got deep pockets. Now, Eli had some good results on Kawi. Going over to KTM, I think one of the things that we have to look at is, do you really want to be teammates with Jorge? Now, if you're getting paid, you'll be teammates with Vince Freeze. You don't care if you're getting paid. I mean, you care, but you're willing to care. You're willing to, swallow your pride and take the payday. And especially when you get to the end of your career, like potentially Tomac is, which will be a sad day when he hangs up the boots, which he should have already done. He decided he's going to keep racing, and Star should have kept him. I think Star really blew it. They should have found a way to keep him. But I understand, they were in negotiations and the time period elapsed. And then when Tomac went back to say, hey, we got a deal, they're like, sorry, dude. I mean, we're missing money. I always gave it all to Danger Boy. Insanity. But here's the thing. It makes sense to me right now why KTM is giving Prado this deal. Because Eli's deal isn't done. Because you need at least a 2-rider 450 team. So I'm like, we kind of all like, well, what are we going to have, a 3 450 rider team? Are we going to have Plessinger, or is he sick? not coming back, and that's why we're going to put Eli in there alongside with George. But now it's starting to look potentially like KTM doesn't have a done deal. Maybe they're close. Maybe they're going through it with a fine-tooth comb, which, obviously costed Eli his Star Racing Yamaha offer because they went over it too long, right? And they had their pullout in different waters, and started to like that apparently. Not enough to go find him some money to keep him there. So it makes sense, doesn't it? That's why we brought Jorge over, is because we don't know if we're really legitimately, with a high level of certainty, gonna get Eli over here. And if we don't get Eli, we're in big trouble. We need Jorge now. We need this guy. We need a 2-rider team. And so the bigger question mark really for me was AP. Where's he at? I mean, I would anticipate, if I was a betting man, Bubba, that AP will be back. And Jorge is going to be his teammate. And potentially Eli is going to go over to Kawi, because Kawi needs people, right? And you got to admit, this would be a much better team than George, Jorge Prado, and AP, the Cowboy Plessinger, on KTM. If you have Sexton and Eli over at Kawi, I mean, that's problem solved. That's problem solved. And if the only thing that hurt that relationship was in the past is not giving Eli a little wiggle room to play with the bike, and Chase already negotiated that. They're not going to keep him in a box. I'm sure he's got way more freedom to explore with testing than Eli did back when he was racing with them. So Eli's like, I'm going to come in with the same position. Give me my wiggle room, and we're in talks. And I think that's exactly where we're at right now. But for kicks and giggles, let's jump over to the Walty Wanders community page of the YouTube channel, take a look at some of the polling, and take a lap around some of the comments. Then we'll meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started.
Race fans, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, lock your doors, throw in an open face and a fresh pair of tear-offs, because the roost is about to fly. When asked on the Walty Wanders community page of the YouTube channel, Eli Tomac will end up at blank. 47% of you said, KTM, Walty, haven't you been watching the mainstream, lamestream swamp media news? While 53% of you said, bro, he's going back to Kawi. It's breaking news. Well, let's go ahead and saddle up and take a lap around some of your comments. First up the starting gate, rocking their open face, Amy Warengo comes in with Tomac and Sexton, Batman and Robin dynamic duo, the two that can beat the brothers. Boom, and there it is there. It looks like we got a little bench racing going on already in this one, so make sure you guys get a fresh pair of tear-offs and jump into that one for sure. Thanks for the comment. Let's see who's up next. Next up, Chad Clark pops the clutch, almost loops out over the starting gate and comes in with, I hope Eli gives Kawasaki another chance. Oh, well, I do too. I'm sure he will for the right amount of money. Boom, there it is there. Thanks for the comment. Let's see who's up next. Deuce 1197 almost goes flying off the track, taking out some fans, and comes in with, Tomac will end up in, I'm a bad mother fudgerville. Boom, there it is there. Hey, wait a minute, bro. That's my line. But thanks for the comment. Let's see who's up next. Last but certainly not least, Midlife ADV crosses the finish line, lights the candles, gets the Bubba neck burn, and comes in with, going back to Kawi to win another 4, baby. Look out, Wonder Boy. ET3 might have something up his sleeve. Boom, and there it is there. That would be awesome. I'm cheering for that one for sure. Long shot though, bro. Hey, but thanks to everybody who participated in the comments. Make sure you guys jump in and read the rest, but make sure you bring a fresh pair of tear-offs, because the roost tends to fly. Now let's jump back to the studio and wrap this one up.
All right, friends, welcome back, and there you go. So the majority, it's close to a coin toss, but that's pretty significant, as all talks from the Moto Swamp, whereas that Eli's going to KTM. Well, apparently that's not such a sure deal after all. In fact, the Moto community, you guys, and Walty, who's been into this thing knee deep, blood, sweat, and tears in the trenches for a long time back in the day, when this was cool pyro chicks and punk rock music, hardcore gladiator games, blood sport, not softy Euro stuff like we have now. even the Euros we had back in the day, they were edgy. Now they're all bubblegum, sold out, SMX, calling audibles, referees, football games, Pride Month, electric bikes, intermission shows. I remember being back. I remember like at A1, mid 2000s, and every intermission was something different. Something different. And this one year they had this NASCAR come through the tunnel. It sounded like an earthquake going through the tunnel. Those things are so loud. And the thing came out on the start straight and did a bunch of donuts. I mean, the noise factor was just insanity. What are they going to do eventually? Bring a Tesla out there? Weak. But the reality is this. You guys, the majority said, yeah, dude, if I had to bet on this one, Walty, I'm going Kawi. I mean, it makes actually a little more sense. And final thoughts. I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. Eli, welcome to the swimming pool. Dude, you're beast mode. You belong in the swimming pool, my brother. You don't even need your life vest. It's now really waiting to see what you do. Now, luckily for us, you're not pulling a Kenny Rock Kickstart Kenny where you're doing teaser posts on what bikes you're going to ride. Although I think you could. I think it's just above you. And nothing against Kickstart Kenny because that was masterful the way he basically melted the internet with it. But when he went to Suzuki, which he's proven to not be a horrible choice, especially fitting into where he's at in this stage of his career, nobody rides a Suzuki because they want to. They ride it because they got paid. Thank you, Progressive Insurance. So, I mean, the reality is this. Eli, more than likely now, at the time of this recording, is looking like Kawi is probably got a nose ahead on KTM, and it actually makes more sense because, like one of the people in the comments pulled their hair off and said, "Can you imagine Sexton and Tomac? That's going to be the dynamic duo." Now I know a lot of you guys are like, "But yeah, they're two alpha riders, and both of them." Listen, Eli's at the stage of his career. He's just going for one big payday right off into the sunset. This is probably going to move into an ambassador position, or possibly we'll just never see him again. He'll be like Dunge, just out. Well, Dunge is still involved, but he doesn't necessarily need the spotlight. But in the meantime, Walter will be here to blow the lid off at every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there. Or simply search up Walty Wanders MX on Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless. I'll see you on the next video.